Yeah, can you just run us through team news injuries, and there'll be a few after the international?
Yeah, obviously Evans, Morrison, Seidel picked up an injury as well. You know, we'll look at them today. They're all 50-50. So we won't know. Solomon's only just come back in. We're not sure what state Solomon will be in. So it's just dusting them down and seeing where we are, really.
It's the last thing you need, really, after picking up again.
Well, it's you know, it's something that we have to, you know, contend with, and everybody else have to contend with. You know, the season has been certainly interrupted by the internationals, and us, you know, as much as anybody else, because we've had so many of our players playing for the home countries, not just Solomon travelling the other side of the world, but you know, there's 7 other players who've been involved in Wales, Scotland, Republic and Northern Ireland.
A lot of emotion going through all those games. So the Northern Ireland lads.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic for you know, the lads in Northern Ireland and especially Wales. You know, the results over the last couple of games have pushed them through to the finals, and I'm absolutely delighted for both home countries. You know, for them, they've not been to a major tournament for a long time. So, you know, it's not just the players, it's the country and the supporters and everybody else involved, and it'll be I'm sure it'll be very, very special to Northern Ireland and Wales especially.
A couple of weeks ago, home to Sunderland might have looked a decent game to look forward to, but now they've got your friend Mr. Allardyce. It's going to perhaps a different.
Yeah, you know, Sam will go in there and he'll certainly shake it up and spin it round, and he'll do the best he possibly can. He's got a great record. Obviously, he did a wonderful job at West Ham. I don't think he's got the credit that he deserves, and it's always nice as a manager when you leave a club for it to become, you know, or stay successful. And I think Sam's put, you know, the foundations in there for the club and for the team to push on. And as a manager, sometimes you don't get the credit that you deserve. You know, you can leave a football club and that football club can fall to bits, and sometimes say, oh, it's because they've changed the manager. But good managers usually leave it in good condition, in good order, and people taking over from you. It's always nice as a manager when people take over from you and that club actually moves on again, because the foundations you've left behind have been solid and been put in a, you know, in a well-structured manner. And I think, you know, that has happened at West Ham, and Sam won't get any credit for that, apart from the professional people who work in the game and understand how it works.
And the Sunderland fans will come here buoyed up by a new manager, and obviously that bounce that happens when the new manager takes over. So you've got to get through that first of all, haven't you?
No, it's going to be a tough game. We understand it's going to be a tough game, but you know, it'll be all about us and what we do.
8 goals considered in 3 games. That's very un-Tony Pulis-like, to be honest. I mean, your side is normally...
Yeah, we were... I think the Everton game, I think losing Macaulay just before the game and then losing Jonas after 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the game. The 2 5s, the 2, you know, main centre-halves. Johnny Evans was carrying an injury as well. You know, that didn't help us at all. Going away to Norwich, you know, we changed the team and it was a different team. And the Palace game, you know, the Palace game was as disappointing a game as I've had for a long time as a manager. I just didn't think we were, as a team, we weren't at it at all. So, you know, it'll be nice to come home and really, hopefully, put a performance in tomorrow. A performance more like the Villa performances and the performances before.
What do you need from your players that you haven't got in the last few games?
3 points.
That's it.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's about getting that confidence, you know, getting a foothold again, in respect of picking points up, and that breeds confidence.
Mr. Mourinho, your friend in Stamford Bridge, had a few things to say about the FA today. He's had a bit of a pop and said he might need an electronic tag to get into a ground. I mean, can you understand where he's coming from?
Well, I think the LMA, I think Richard, you know, has to pull all the managers together. We have to have a meeting about what's going on and what's not going on. I think the fine, £50,000, is an extraordinary amount of money. I've been fined a few times by the FA for stepping out the line, and my argument is, you know, where does that money go? That £50,000, does it go to charity? Does it go to pay for the hundreds and hundreds of people who will jump on the back of the Euros? You know, where does that money go? Because when I asked, when I was fined, I didn't get a response or an answer. We talk about transparency. If you're going to take that sort of money off an individual, his money, you know, let's know where that money's going. And the other thing we've got to be careful. This is a game of emotion, and managers get it emotionally involved. And part and parcel of the Premier League is that, you know, the emotional flavour that runs through this game in this country, not just on the pitch but off the pitch. And you know, managers come on, you know, they at times go over the top and they need a slap round the wrist. But we have to be careful that we don't put ourselves in a position where we just come on and nod our heads and say nothing because we're frightened that we'll get punished and fined £50,000. I understand, or 50,000, which is absolutely extraordinary for me. I understand that you have to be careful, but sometimes, you know, people have to understand. So, yeah, I'd love the FA to be transparent and let us know where our money goes, which bank it's put in, how it's spent, which way, you know, instead of, I was told generally that it goes into the funds and is used in different ways.
Do you think Mourinho is being singled out for special treatment? He's had a bit of a rocky season in many ways, hasn't he?
I think he's an experienced manager, and you know, he's got to stand for what, and he will stand for what he believes is right. And if he says things, then obviously Jose believes in that. And as I've said before, we've now got another manager, Klopp, who seems an outspoken manager, who's coming from Germany. You know, that's another new manager into this country. We integrate foreign managers better than any other country in the world. We welcome them, and you know, Mourinho has been absolutely fantastic for this Premier League. Over the time he's been here, he's been, you know, top drawer in my eyes. Good viewing for the public and for everybody else. And you know, we have, like I say, we have to get together. I think as a union, we have to get together and sit down and talk about the way we start now approaching, you know, the press conferences after games. Because if the FA are going to do these things and really punish people, extraordinary amounts of money, then you know, we have to do something about it.
On a lighter note, final question. Mr. Klopp favours a baseball cap, so can we look forward to the baseball cap derby?
He'll be more interested and more worried about getting results, as I am. You know, like I say, this has been a tradition of mine from a long time ago, from when I was at Gillingham at Priestfield. And we went on a run. I think we got promoted that year, and that has been superstitiously stuck on the top of my head ever since.
Thank you. Damien?
Tony, on the face of it, you've got plenty of strike power in the team, but how concerned are you about the lack of goals?
Well, we're more concerned about not getting down the sides of the pitch and getting crosses in, I think, rather than blaming the strikers. I don't think we've got enough crosses in any of the games. And, you know, we're playing, you know, 90% of the time we've played with a left winger playing left back. So, you know, we need to get more off the sides of the pitch. I think if there's an argument about it, it's about what we're doing down the sides of the pitch to create more opportunities for our strikers to score. And as I said, you know, the Villa performance was a fantastic performance. We really played well there and deserved to win the game and created lots of opportunities and chances. And we have to, we have to look at that and take the positives out of that and get into the next game.
You talked about Wales and Northern Ireland. Have you noticed the boys have got a bit of a spring in the step after the
Well, I think there's a relief around. You know, I think both Northern Ireland and Wales had put themselves in such a good position, and because they hadn't achieved it for so many years, there's always that nervousness to get over the line. And I think it's lovely for the players and lovely for, like I say, the countries, both countries, that they've eventually got over the line and they've got, you know, something absolutely fantastic to look forward to. You know, and I'm hoping that their minds are now clear and they can concentrate on getting results for West Bromwich Albion.